Good afternoon, everybody. This is Susan Sweeney, one of the deans at eLearningU, and I'd like to welcome you to today's program on Pinterest marketing. Today's a little different as I'm the moderator, but I'm also the speaker. So ordinarily we do an introduction of the speaker. I'll give you a little brief introduction on me. I'm the author of 8 books on internet marketing, including 101 Ways to Promote Your Website. That book has sold 77,000 copies, been translated to German, Spanish, and Chinese. I've also written a book called Social Media for Business. I'm the owner of eLearningU. We provide travel and tourism webinars. We partner with states, industry associations, and companies in the travel and tourism space to provide ongoing education to their members and tourism professionals. Shameless plug, if you belong to an industry association or a company or a state that you think should be providing these webinars to your industry, I'd love to hear from you, so just get in touch with me afterwards. I'm also a frequent speaker at travel industry conferences, speak at a lot of governors' conferences and national conferences, consultant to the travel industry, clients in the hotel industry, attractions, DMOs, and state and provincial tourism departments. So that's my introduction, and now we'll delve right into Pinterest marketing for tourism. As we go through, feel free to type in your questions in the question area. We'll also have an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end of the presentation. You can raise your hand, I'll open your mic, and you can speak directly to me with any questions that you might have. So as you go through, jot down your questions or type it in the question area, and we'll handle it at the end of the session. Okay, Pinterest marketing. So why Pinterest? Why? There's so many different social media venues out there and new ones cropping up all the time. So we want to take a look at Pinterest and see whether or not really there's a good fit with your tourism business and Pinterest. Well, one of the reasons why Pinterest might be of interest is that the annual household income, 28.1% of users are well off. Well off meaning that their annual household income is over $100,000. So when you're looking at getting in front of your target market, you're looking at getting in front of potential customers, it's always nice to have those potential customers that have the money to spend on travel and tourism. So that's one reason why Pinterest might be a good fit. The next thing is the average time spent on the site. Users spend about 15.8 minutes on Pinterest versus 16.4 minutes on YouTube. And when you think about it, some of the videos that are on YouTube are, hour-long television programs. So you're looking at the average on YouTube 16.4 and the average on Pinterest of 15.8. It's got quite a staying power, and when people are on there, they stay for a long period of time. Facebook has 12.1 minutes, so you can see that it's got that glue, gets people to stay and visit a lot of different photos. And another reason that Pinterest might be a good fit, if you target users with children. 50% of Pinterest users have kids. So again, if your target market includes family vacationers, then Pinterest might be a good fit. As well, the gender breakdown on Pinterest, 68.2% of users are women. And I need to be careful with what I say here, but we all know that a significant number, some say as many as 90% of all buying decisions are influenced by women. So nice to have those women, particularly in the travel and tourism, and particularly when you're talking about family vacation. Certainly we've got a significant bias towards women decision makers. The age demographics. If you look at where the age that is on Pinterest, we've got the highest 27.4%, 25 to 34, 22% 35 to 44, and 17.9 45 to 54. So certainly the 25 and up age group is who you've got on Pinterest. And certainly when you're looking at travel and tourism, those are the people that have the money, those are the people that travel, those are the ones that make the buying decisions. So we've got a nice fit with age demographics and your target markets. And Pinterest is just one of those ones that has just been skyrocketing in terms of usage. how many people are visiting. If you look at some of these stats, 7,000,005 visitors in December 2011 and 11.7 million in January 2012. So a significant increase in just 1 month of that stat. But Pinterest was, they hit the 10 million monthly unique visitors faster than any independent site in history. So we've all seen all those stats about, how long it took for people to use the fax and the radio and the television and the internet and Facebook. And so Pinterest has just blown everything else out of the water in terms of speed of adoption and speed of the number of people that are visiting and participating in Pinterest. These stats are June 2013, 12 million monthly unique visitors, so that is significant in and of itself, 10.4 million registered users, and 9 million monthly Facebook connected users. So, Pinterest is really one of those ones that has come in, been around for a few years now, proven itself, and really has taken off over the last 2 years, really. And most travel and tourism organizations have made a conscious decision that Pinterest is one of those ones that they really want to focus on and pay a lot of attention to. Daily users have increased by more than 145% since the start of 2012. And if you look at the numbers in terms of who's generating traffic to websites, because with every picture that you have on Pinterest, with almost every picture that you have on Pinterest, you can go directly to the website where that picture is hosted. So it is causing a significant amount of traffic to websites that are hosting the particular pictures. And in travel and tourism, that's one of the things that we want to do, because usually when they go to your website, that's when they can do that buying. That's when they can make the reservation. That's when they've got all the information that they need to make sure that they include you in the buying decision. That's where you can go after the conversion. So Pinterest should be part of an overall strategy. And we'll talk a little bit more about the things that should go in that strategy as we go further in the presentation. But if you look at the traffic to websites, Pinterest is sending more traffic to websites than YouTube, Google+, and LinkedIn combined. And really that is what it's all about, is driving people to the website where you can do the conversion and get people to do what you want them to do while they're on that website. That is make a reservation, but conversion can be many things. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make a buying decision. If you're a hotel and you've got a reservation system, that's one of the things that you're hoping that they'll do. But you might also be hoping that they're going to join your e-club, that they're going to watch your video, that they're going to tell other people about you, take advantage of the viral opportunities that you've got on your site. If you're a destination marketing organization that does not sell directly from the website, then your objective will not be to, once you get them to the website, to make that buying decision or to make that reservation, but more to get them converted from an interested visitor to somebody who has decided that they're going to your particular geographic destination. And again, the website really is the place to make that happen. And again, more recent statistics. The referral traffic from Pinterest, 3.6%, YouTube, 1.05%, Google+, 0.22%, and LinkedIn, 0.2%. So definitely a major contributor to traffic. Now, one of the things that you want to take a look at with Pinterest, you definitely want to have a strategy. I did a search on Savannah, Georgia, and if you look, and I encourage you, go in and do a search on just Savannah, Georgia, and what you'll find is all of the boards that are related to Savannah, Georgia that have the title Savannah, Georgia. Now, I find it very interesting because these all look so similar. And look at the cursor where it is. And these are all of the results. So you can imagine how many pages there are that have Savannah, Georgia. I'm going to come back to this as an example of something that I'm going to recommend to you a little bit later on. But just to say that, A number of destination marketing organizations, state tourism departments, and individual chains, hotels, B&Bs have really taken Pinterest and are placing a lot of emphasis on it, have a great strategy going forward to get the traffic of the visitors. So, but just notice this. Look at the cursor. Look at how many pages there will be with just Savannah, Georgia as the title. And I'm going to come back to this and reference it a little bit later on. Now, with Pinterest, Pinterest is being used these days quite often as a vacation planner. So just think about it. If you were planning to take a trip to, to Dallas, Texas, you can go into Google and do a search on Dallas, Texas, or things to see in Dallas, Texas, and you'll find all kinds of different websites. Some of them, related to the DMO, and some related to attractions and hotels, etc., in the area. And different sites will have different bits of information to help you in that planning of your vacation to Dallas, Texas. Certainly, the DMOs have a lot more information than others when you're looking at the whole broad. However, if you go into Pinterest, what you're going to find is so much more than you'll find on any individual site. And you'll find boards of individuals who have already visited Dallas, Texas, boards of people who are planning their trip to Dallas, Texas, and you'll see what everybody else has determined to be the top things to see and do within Dallas, Texas. And it's all picture-based. So it's being used so much these days for people when they're planning their vacation. They just go to Pinterest, and based upon what they see there, they repin to their own boards and they plan their vacation that way. Also, I've heard of a number of instances where it's being used as a collaborative planning tool, and that is where, let's say that you had 3 people that were planning to go on a trip to Europe. Then you would share one board, and everybody would contribute to that one board, the places that they wanted to go, the things that they wanted to see. And so it's used as a collaborative planning tool. So it could be used as a group or as a family, but everybody's sharing the one board when they're planning that trip. So you can see how much traffic and excitement. I mean, one of the things as well is when people are coming to Pinterest, and it's all positive. These are dream boards, wish lists, and so the mood that people are in and the opportunity to convert them to making that dream a reality is fairly great. When people are planning and have a board of all the things that they're going to see and do when they go to Dallas, pretty good chance that they're going to make that trip. So you're making it very easy for them to be able to take that from a wish to a reality. The fact that everything is visual is absolutely fantastic for tourism, and it's visual in that you've got a lot of pictures, but video is also very prevalent on Pinterest. So you can see a lot of videos on different locations when you're planning your trip. And you saw the stats already. Very, very effective at driving traffic to your website where you can get that conversion. So, is Pinterest right for you? Well, the first thing that you want to do is take a look at the demographics and see if the demographics fit with your target market. Are you trying to reach the women? Are you trying to reach the travelers? Are you trying to reach that age group? So you take a look and see whether or not, and likely anybody in the travel and tourism industry, you're going to have the right demographics for you on Pinterest. If you are, even if you're going after the group market, I'm sure that a lot of the people who are planning the group trips, where they're going to go, where they're going to stay, what they're going to do, and those types of things, Pinterest is on their radar as well. The next thing that you need to take a look at is, does it fit with your objectives? So when you're doing any strategy, you really need to start off with your objectives. And if part of your objectives are, finding your target market online, driving that traffic to your website, converting them, providing exposure, providing your brand, there's so many of your objectives that will likely be fit with Pinterest. So that's another thing you need to take a look at. You also need to take a look at, do you have the time and the budget? And I know that so many organizations are trying to do so much more with so much less these days. Everybody is wearing too many hats, and you really need to make some decisions as to, where you spend your time and where you spend your money. And, again, you have to go back to your objectives, your target markets, your products and services. And if you do decide to play, then you need to figure out how you're going to measure how successful and how worthwhile this is, to be able to determine your return on investment or your return on effort with Pinterest. If you do decide to go, you definitely want to have a strategy based upon your objectives, and the strategy needs to be documented, because what doesn't get documented doesn't get done. So you need to make sure that that you've got a documented strategy based on your objectives. And what you're going to do in that strategy is you're going to have a look at, what exactly is going to be done, who's going to take responsibility for making sure that it gets done, when is it going to be done, how often is that particular activity going to take place. You also need to quantify what success looks like. And, if you're saying, well, one of our objectives is to drive traffic to our website, you need to quantify that. You might say that for this to be successful with the amount of time and effort that we're going to put into it, we need to see at least 500 unique visitors coming to our website from Pinterest. And, if it's less than that, it's really not worth our time or effort. So you need to quantify what success looks like, and you need to know how you're going to measure that to determine whether or not you've reached your success number. So let's get into getting started. First of all, have that strategy, have it documented, and again, it should be based on your objectives, your target markets, your products and services. Now, when you join, don't join as an individual, join as a business. You join as a business, set up your account. We'll talk a little bit more about the setup. But one of the things that you definitely want to do is verify your site. You want to make sure that the site is verified so that it can be found in the search results. And when you get started, not only do you have to set it up in Pinterest, but you need to start to encourage people to pin the pictures and the videos that you've got on your site, so by using the Pin It button. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. So when you are registering your business account, one of the things that you should do is use the same email address that you're using for your business Twitter account, so that you can share new pins. And I always suggest that you use social media at yourdomain.com. Because with social media at yourdomain.com, if you have a changeover in staff, you don't have to switch things around from Jane to Betty. The person who's responsible for social media will likely change in your organization. So set up a separate account for your social media, for the people that are responsible for that, social media at yourdomain.com. And like I say, set it up as a business account. Use the same one that you're using for Twitter so that you can share things. Now, when you set up your profile, give some thought to what's going to go in that profile, and make sure that you're using your brand, you're using your taglines, your logo. Make it something that really stands out, and people know exactly who you are. And again, make sure that you're using nice, crisp images. Nothing looks more unprofessional than images that are blurred or not crisp enough. So go for the 160 by 165 pixels when you're setting up the images in your profile. The next thing that you have to do is you need to set up a description. And so the description, you really need to have a little balance there. It's got to say who you are and what you're all about. It's really got to grab their attention. But you also have to balance that with the search engine optimization and getting the right keywords in there. You've got 500 characters, so you got about 4 tweets worth of characters, and we all know that that's not much. So you need to be very strategic about the words that you use in the description. getting the keyword, and also the geographic location, because when people are doing their travel planning, they're likely going to be putting in that city, that state, that province, and a lot of searches. You want to make sure that you've search engine optimized your Pinterest account to be able to meet those numbers for the search engine optimization. Now, the next thing that you want to do is make sure that you verify your site, because only the verified sites show up in the search results. And you can do this a couple of different ways. There's an HTML file or a meta tag that you can use to verify your site. And when you go in to Pinterest, they've got a whole help section in there, and they can help. You just follow along, and it's be very obvious for you on how you go ahead and do this. Once your site is verified, then what you'll see is a check mark, and you'll know that your site has been verified and is available for inclusion in the search results when someone does a search within Pinterest. So once you've got your account set up, then you need to start setting up the boards. Well, what you want to do is make sure that you give some really good thought before you start to just set up boards willy-nilly. And you want to think about a number of things with your boards, the titles and things, and we'll get into those. But think about all of the different target markets, really, and think about what these target markets are going to be searching for, what type of content it is that they're looking for. So, think about, as a destination marketing organization, you have so many different products and services in your geographic location, and so many different target markets that you really want to reach. So think about all of those, and also, do some reverse engineering. Go and take a look at your competitors. Go and take a look at, if you're a city, go and take a look at other cities, similar cities to yours. If you're a state, go and take a look at other states. If you're a business, go and take a look at other businesses that would be similar or competitors, and see what they're doing, and do all this research and planning before you start to set up your boards. And again, boards for weddings and things like Bike Austin, Texas. So having your geographic location right on the board. Because when the searches are being done, you want to make sure that you grab, if it's just weddings, then somebody does a search on weddings, a particular location, you may or may not be high enough up in the search results. So you want to think about the boards. Once you've determined the boards, then you need to think about the names. If you're a hotel, think about the boards that you would have as a hotel. Some hotels have things like hotel amenities. If they look at the different target markets, if they've got a golf course, if they've got they cater to weddings, they cater to meetings, they cater to conferences. Think about the target markets and the products and services that you provide. You might also think about providing more information on a board for other things for people to see and do in your geographic area, because that's good, valuable information and will keep them on your board. So you could provide that, in our town, you're a hotel in the town, but you could have the day trips or suggested itineraries or those types of things. So, you just want to think about and be very strategic about the boards that you are going to create and set up. Here's an example of a hotel, the Four Seasons in Austin, Texas. So you look at the types of things that they've got: wedding trends, quintessential Austin, bucket list adventures, Austin for kids, day trips, have your cake and eat it too, say I do, so a second weddings board that they've got. So, go and take a look, like I say, at competitors, other hotels, even leaders in your industry, and see how they have strategically chosen what types of boards, what names they've given them, what types of pictures they've included, because success leaves traces, and you can learn a lot by people who are being successful already on Pinterest. So with your board, you've decided now which boards you want to set up. So now you've got to give your boards a name. Now you've got 20 characters. So I mean, how much can you do in 20 characters? You want to talk about what the board is all about. You might also want to have your location in there as well. So 20 characters. I mean, if you're in Mississippi, you're already at a disadvantage. But you really want to do a balance between geographic keywords that are going to be searched on and something that's creative and grabs people's attention. So you've got the name of the board, and then you have the opportunity to give a description of the board. Now, in that description, a few things that you want to take care of. The keywords. What is somebody searching on? So you want to get the geographic in there. You want to get the target market in there. You want to get a description of what that board is all about as well. And, it's amazing how often people do what they're told to do. So if you can incorporate a call to action, tell people what you want them to do next, that might also be something that could fit well in that description. You also get to choose your cover pin, and the cover pin is that picture that is the largest one on the board, the one that everybody sees. So quite often what you're going to do there is you're going to look for the picture that has the most repins, but sometimes not. Sometimes you could have a picture that you've incorporated some text into and done an overlay that tells people what this board is all about, what you're all about, those types of things as well. So, sometimes you want to be a little bit more strategic on that cover pin to grab the attention of people rather than, the most repinned photo usually does grab the attention because it's a really good picture. On the other hand, like I say, sometimes you develop a photo specifically for the purpose of being your cover pin, and you use it very strategically. It'll have a call to action. It'll have, maybe some text overlay that will give people information on what's included on this board or what you want them to do. Some organizations will not only look at target markets, but they'll also look at achieving some objectives that are important to them. So, seasonal boards. So if, in New England, a lot of organizations would have the fall colors. They might have ski season. They might have, Christmas. They'll have different boards for different seasons because they've got different events going on and different reasons why people would want to come in that particular season. You might also have boards for specific events that you hold in your destination or in your hotel. And we'll talk a little bit more about some other boards that you might want to consider and have incorporated. For destination marketing organizations, itinerary ideas or suggested itineraries. There are so many great opportunities for you to really speak to different target markets and have suggested itineraries which will incorporate a lot of different things to see and do for each one of your different target markets. So if somebody's coming to your destination to go golfing, having an itinerary of all the different golf-related things or what people who golf like to do besides golf could be incorporated into your itinerary ideas. But you take your different target markets and build itineraries for each one, for those suggested itineraries for each one of those. So, here they've got a wine and dine itinerary, a spa itinerary. I'm sure that most people would have, family vacation. Well, there's one here, 24 hours in Monterey with kids. Things to do, where to stay, So these are all great examples of opportunities for destination marketing organizations to really, really nail down that target market and provide them with all the pictures that would be appropriate for them. Now, with the pictures, one of the things that you want to really pay close attention to is the quality of the pictures. You really want to have good professional photography. There is a big vast difference between pictures that just Joe Blow takes versus the professional photography. And it really speaks volumes when you see a really fantastic quality picture of a sunset in your destination, or of the Grand Canyon from a distance, or whatever it is. So make sure that you really focus on really good quality photos. I mean, there are some instances where you're going to have photos that have been submitted by people that have visited your destination in the past, and those types of things where you've got no control, and still good quality photos. And because they're coming from a third party, it's almost like a third party testimonial. So you do want to incorporate those, but for the most part, you really want to have really good quality content and really good quality in terms of resolution. So you're going to go for the high resolution photos. Now, nothing less than 100 by 200 or 200 by 100 are pinnable. So there is a certain standard that once you go below that, they're not pinnable. Once you've decided on the boards and you started now to add your, you've got your boards, you're adding your pictures. One of the things that you want to do is make your website pinner friendly. Most people in the travel and tourism industry have a significant traffic to their websites. That's something that they've been focusing on for the last number of years, and they focus on a regular basis, because unless you get them to the website, you can't get them to buy or to make that buying decision. So now you need to go through your website and take a look at the photos that you have there and make it pin friendly. You also might want to think about adding a whole lot more photos to your website, specifically for the reason of having people pin those particular pictures. So you want to have a lot of really good quality photos, easily accessible by your different target markets, and you want to encourage people to pin the photos that they see on your site. So the pin it button is something that you really want to use a lot. I took this one here. This is Dallas Balloon Rides. If you actually go to the website, you will not see a pin it button on this particular photo. I just overlaid it in my PowerPoint presentation. But it's an example of what Dallas Balloon Rides should be doing. They should be taking the photos, great photos. They've got a lot of great photos on their site, and what they should be doing is add the pin it button in a lot of very strategic places throughout the site. So each and every one of you, take that pin it button, go through your website, see where that pin it button should be, and think as well about new photos that you should be adding to your site for the express purpose of putting the pin it button on there. It's very easy for you to be able to get that pin it button. You go into Pinterest, into the Help Center, and I believe that's where you get the widget builder. So, or just go in and do a search on pin it button, and where do I get pin it button? It'll take you directly to the page in the Pinterest Help Center. Another thing that you might want to think about on your site is having a gallery of your most popular pins. And if you've got a lot of pins on your Pinterest boards, what you do is just go and take a look and keep track, and lots of little tools to be able to help you see your most popular pins. And then have a gallery of your most popular pins on your website. And you might even consider having a different gallery for each one of your target markets. So if you've got a section on your website that is all about weddings, then have your most popular pins from your wedding board. And when you go into the golf section of your site, then have another gallery in there of your most popular pins. Really speak to your target market. And also, don't forget about the video, because a picture might be worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth a whole lot more. So you want to make sure that you've got great video on your boards and accessible through your site. A couple of examples of this would be, one is Home Away, and Home Away is a vacation rental site, and so perfect place to have a lot of videos of the various vacation rental homes that they have available. But the videos can incorporate all kinds of other things as well. HomeAway probably has a ton of videos for property rentals in Hilton Head, as an example. They might also want to incorporate videos of great things to see and do in Hilton Head. So it's not always just what you've got for sale that you'd incorporate by video. Another thing that you might want to consider doing is enabling others to add pins. And again, what you'll do is be very, very strategic in this regard. And so what you might want to do is allow people to add pins of the greatest thing that they did in your destination, or the greatest place that they ate, or the greatest place for kids, and allow people to add their pins. And you might even think about incorporating that into a contest, or you might be very strategic about the people that you allow to add pins to your user-generated boards. Another thing to think about, Instagram is becoming very, very popular these days, and you might want to think about having some Instagram integration. If you're let's say if you're a pub or a restaurant, as an example, let's take a pub, and tourists are part of your target market, then having something written up in your pub about post your Instagram pic, and making it very easy and just calling it to their attention is something that could happen. Again, it's something as well that you might incorporate into a contest, and we'll talk about contests in just a little bit. As a matter of fact, here we go. Repin it to win it. We're seeing all kinds of contests online. And again, what you might want to do is just go and take a look at some of your competitors and see the types of contests that they're having and how they're doing that contest and why they're doing. What objective is it that they're accomplishing with their particular contest? Take a look and see exactly how they're running the contest, why they're running this particular type of contest, and whether or not it would be appropriate for you or worthwhile for you. So what you want to do is look at all the different options contest-wise, and like I say, there are tons and tons of organizations that are using Pinterest contests. Here's an example of bedandbreakfast.com, and so again, think about if you're an organization that has members, you might want to profile all of your members in your boards. So with bedandbreakfast.com, they've got different pins of all kinds of different bed and breakfasts that are their members. And, again, it's a way of profiling and getting more people to their website, because each one of these pictures there will be a link back to the bedandbreakfast.com website where they can get further information on that particular bed and breakfast. So perfect opportunity for exposure, getting into and getting in front of their target market with all the millions of people that are visiting. People that stay at bed and breakfasts will likely come in here and do a search. They'll find this great board where they can have a look at all the different bed and breakfasts, and they're just a click away from where they can make that reservation. So, again, you just want to be very, very strategic. With the talk a little bit about best practices. From your website, you want to link to Pinterest, and so a couple of things here. You want to have that Pinterest just with all of your other social media links. So you're linked to your Twitter, you're linked to Facebook, you're linked to Pinterest will likely be all in the same place. And you want to make sure that you've got those social media links on every single page of your website in a consistent place. A couple of things there. You want it on every single page because you don't know where people are coming into your website. They might have gotten your e-specials blast and they're linking into that Girlfriend's Getaway page, not your home page. So it needs to be on every single page in a consistent location. And that consistent location should definitely be above the fold. I know that a lot of sites these days, web developers are saying that best practice is to have the links to your social media at the very bottom of the page. Well, I'll guarantee you that nobody goes to your website and says, I think I'll scroll to the bottom of the page just to see if they've got their links to their social media. That's not how they're getting there. So you want to make sure that your links to your social media consistently placed above the fold. And if it's something that you really want them to do, then provide a call to action. Don't just have your the icons for the various social media. What you want to do is have a call to action. So join our social or whatever. You want to be innovative with your call to action. Other places that you want to have your link to Pinterest, think about your email signature file. Every one of you has an email signature file, and if you want to provide your link to your social media in your email signature file, what I would suggest that you do there is have all of your contact information, your phone, snail mail, address, etc., and then have one blank line, and then put the link to your Pinterest and your other social media. You see, if you provide that link in your signature file, but it's just, part of, just the next line down, it really doesn't grab attention. When you've got a space there, you can see those links or the tagline, whatever it is that you're trying to focus on. Make sure that you provide your links to your social media, Pinterest and others, in everything that you have going out to your target market. If you've got e-blasts or your newsletter or your e-zine or anything that you're sending out on a regular basis, make sure that you provide your links to all your social media, Pinterest as well as the others. Think about you're driving your other social media, your fans, your followers, what have you, to your Pinterest board. So think about promoting your Pinterest through your other social media, and that P is very, very recognizable everywhere. So on your print material, make sure that you've got that P on there so that people know that you do have a Pinterest board, and provide the information so that they can access it. A couple of other things that you might want to consider. Some of you have a team, and you might want to have a board of your team. If somebody is planning, let's say that your hotel does a lot of weddings, what you might want to do is have a board with your wedding team. Show how they are approachable. They'll be able to recognize them when they see them at the hotel, but also outside the hotel. Have information about the team. Make it something that shows them in a situation where they're relatable, they're interesting people, they're fun, they're pleasant, smile on the face of everybody on your team. Then they can see who they're going to be working with. But it can be your person on your destination marketing organization that's responsible for working with teams or working with groups or working with convention planning. You all have different teams that work with the public, and there's an opportunity there if you want to take advantage of it, if you think it's important enough. One of the things that with every social media that we have, they start out with the basics, and then they grow based upon the users, the requests, and those types of things. And really with Pinterest, we're just starting to see the tip of the iceberg of the changes that we know will come based upon changes that we've seen in every other social media. But rich pins right now are available, and they provide additional information. So if there's a pin on that has things that are available in a store, then a rich pin would provide information on that particular item, the cost, etc., and a link to where they can buy it. Rich pins for recipes. Then you see the cookies. Well, the rich pin will take them to the ingredients list and the recipe for that particular. So rich pins are they're available for only a very small number of things right now, movies, recipes, and products. But you know that that's going to change. So, be on the lookout for, what's coming down the pike for travel and tourism where you could use these rich pins. For example, one of the things, if you're in the Outer Banks of South Carolina, having a rich pin for Nights in Rodanthe might be something. I know that I have visited the Outer Banks just because I watched that movie Nights in Rodanthe. So, there are different things that cause people to visit a particular destination. And so you use what you can that's available right now. So there might be some products that are indicative of your particular destination. There might be some recipes that could influence a visitor to your destination. There could be some movies. So where possible, think about using these rich pins. But besides that, be thinking about keeping up with the changes in Pinterest and being an early adopter for new opportunities as they present themselves in Pinterest. Now, you want to build your following, just like you grow your people who like in Facebook and you grow your Twitter followers. You want to build your following in Pinterest as well. And now visitors, when they choose to follow you, they can follow one of your boards or they can follow your account. When they follow one of your boards, they're notified when there's a change or a new picture on that particular board and that particular board only. When they follow your account, then it's broad-based to any of your boards. So you want to think about what you want to encourage. Do you want them to follow your account or do you want them to follow a particular board? And then you use what you can to influence that. You want to promote your Pinterest account, so have the Pinterest follow button on your website. You want to promote your Pinterest account through all your social media channels, through providing a link through a tweet or through a post in Pinterest, etc. Promote through your blog. You might have a contest. A lot of organizations are having contests to really get a lot of people following their account or their particular boards. Now, a few things, this one here, this first one, follow those you want to follow you back. A lot of people use that strategy in Twitter as an example. They follow people that they want to have follow them back. I don't know how great an idea that is. And I put it here just because I wanted to have the discussion on that. If a lot of people on Twitter will have an automatic follow back. Anybody who's following them, there are widgets out there to be able to make that happen. But are they really part of your target market? Are they really interested in what you've got? Are they going to be noticing the new pictures and things because they're probably doing this for everybody else? So this one, I just caution you a little bit on that one. I don't know how effective it will be. But these others, when you like others' pins, so if you're in the Outer Banks and you see other people's pins that relate to the Outer Banks, then liking those pins is very strategic. Your comments on those pins are seen by your followers. So, there's another thing that you might want to consider to build your following. And making strategic comments on others' pins. If they've got a picture of the beach in Hilton Head and you're a DMO in Hilton Head, then commenting on somebody else's pin and saying, great picture of the Harbor Town Lighthouse. We've got a whole board of these that you might be interested in. Something along those lines can get people to come back to your board and take a look and to start to follow you. So you want to be just very strategic on your repinning. Another thing that sometimes you want to pin other people's images, and that would be where you are going to go to other websites and you're going to pin from those third-party websites. And the reason that you do that is because, yes, of course, you want most of the pins to drive traffic to your site. However, you will have a certain number of them that are from third-party sites, because these are really seen to be third-party testimonials. So if somebody goes to that particular site, they follow through on that particular picture and go to the website that picture is on. Yes, you're not getting that particular traffic to your website, but you're getting them to a site that is saying great things about your destination or about your attraction or about your hotel. So these are as good as third-party testimonials. So you want to incorporate these into your strategy and into your boards as well. Now, in terms of best practices, one thing that I'm just going to throw out there as a possibility for destination marketing organizations. DMOs have all of the hotels and attractions and all of the tourism professionals generally in their database or in their membership if they're membership based. So one of the things that you might want to do as a destination marketing organization, you are responsible for bringing visitors to your destination. A state tourism association, a state tourism department, the same thing. You are trying to bring more visitors to your state. So do you think that if you educated all of the tourism operators in your industry or in your geographic location on Pinterest and the opportunities in Pinterest, that if you have more people in your destination using Pinterest and promoting and providing all those visual images and videos of the destination, that you might impact the number of visitors that actually come to your destination? Let's just take that a little step further. If you provide a workshop to get all of these tourism professionals in your area started, so just take as an example, I'm speaking at at a governor's conference, and if that governor's conference wanted me to really do a great session on Pinterest for all of the individuals within that area, we could even do something like a hands-on. So we can set up their own Pinterest account. We can set up some boards for them to get them started. Now let's think about how we would encourage them, what boards we would suggest to them to get set up. And then pictures would come from your site for those boards that were going to be initially set up. This is where I am going back to that Savannah. Remember that initial Savannah example that I used? And there were boards and boards and boards and boards that had Savannah, Georgia as the title. So on that particular board. So if you are in, I don't know, wherever, you're in Lubbock, Texas, and you bring all of your tourism professionals together for a workshop, and it's to learn all about Pinterest, but also a hands-on to get them set up and going on Pinterest, then the board that you choose to get them started is Lubbock, Texas. Get it? You then have pictures that you want them to add to that particular board. So during the workshop, you take them out to that page on your website that has all of these pictures, and you've got the pin it button on those pictures, and now everybody who's in that workshop has a Lubbock, Texas board, and they're pinning all those particular pictures onto that particular board. So, there are ways that you can, particularly a destination marketing organization, a travel industry association, a state tourism department, can work with your industry to make these things happen. So, there are lots of what we'd probably call guerrilla marketing tactics, or you just need to think about what your objective is and how can you accomplish that particular objective. As a DMO, getting a lot of boards related to your particular geographic destination, you can make that happen. Some other best practices, you want to pin often because anybody who's following you is notified anytime there's a new picture to that board or to your account, depending upon how they've decided to follow you. So you want to have this happen on a regular basis. You don't want to go in there once a month and put fresh content on there once a month and and the fresh content is 20 new pictures on various boards once a month, because the people who follow you then just get notified once. What you want to do is move that out over different times of the month so that your followers are being constantly notified of these new pictures. When you are putting these new pins, what you want to do is look at the descriptions as well. And where the title is only 20 characters, your description, you've got a lot more room in there to do what you need to do. You want to really grab their attention, use really great grabber text, things that words and a flow that really grabs the attention of your visitor. But you want to balance that as well with the keywords, so that when somebody does a search, that this particular board is, or this particular pin is going to show in the search results. And you can also provide calls to action, encourage people to follow, encourage people to repin. You can use this in the description if you like. Now, in terms of search engine optimization and Pinterest, there are two things. When you talk about search engine optimization, people generally are thinking about Google search engine optimization and getting your Pinterest account high in the search results of Google. But you also have to think about doing the search engine optimization within Pinterest, because within Pinterest, somebody will go in and, I'm going out to Los Angeles to speak for CITA, and I think I'm going to stay an extra couple of days, so I might go in and do a search on Los Angeles spas or Los Angeles attractions or what have you. So that would be a search within Pinterest. So there's search engine optimization within Pinterest itself, and then you also want to think about the search engine optimization impact of Pinterest on the external search engines like Google. So now the links from the pins within Pinterest are no follow. So what that means is that you're not getting points per se for the Google search engine optimization. However, what is impacted is the social signals. They've got points in their algorithm for social signals. So if you're heavily invested and you've got a lot of traffic that's coming from your Pinterest account, that is going to be relevant and matter in your search engine optimization score with Google. So although it's not a direct link, and the link is counting because it's a no-follow, other things that you do within Pinterest will have an impact on your Google search engine optimization. For your search within Pinterest, get the keywords that you think people are searching on in a number of different places. Username in the descriptions, the image file names, and the image alt tags. So with all those pictures that you have on your site that you've got the pin it button, you want to make sure that you've got the alt tag behind every single one of those images. I don't want to get too technical here for those people that are in marketing rather than in the technical side. Hold a contest. With the contest, again, go and take a look at, there are tons and tons and tons of travel organizations that are holding Pinterest contests. So your contest will look very different depending upon what your objectives are. If your objectives are to get people to follow you, if your objectives are to get people to repin your pins, if your objectives are to get people to participate in a contest, a board that you've designed specifically for contests, to get great pictures of people in your destination, then your contest is going to be very different from the next, from the next, from the next. So what you want to do is think about your objectives and then go and take a look at some of the contests that are already being held and kind of do a reverse engineering. Take a look at and see what they've done. What types of graphics have they used? What text have they used? What calls to action have they used? Who's eligible for the contest? How does the contest run? Lots of things that you want to take a look at with other people's contests. So this one, Pin to Win, the Ultimate Colorado Spring Girls Getaway. Do you suppose they might be going after that particular target market? Miraval Me Time contest. So with this, what they've got is you've got a chance to win a 4-night stay for two and experience what travel and leisure readers describe as the best all-inclusive destination. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to follow Miraval Resort and Spa on Pinterest. So this, one of their objectives, obviously, is to increase their followers. So number one, contest rule, you have to be a follower to be able to be involved in this contest. Then you need to create a Pinterest board titled Me Time and include at least 10 pins. You need to include 3 pins from Miraval's Pinterest board. So now they're getting the repins on each one of these boards, and be sure to include the official contest pin as on your board as well. And then you submit your link, and then they'll decide which one of these boards is going to win and get the prize of the 4-night stay for two. So you can see they've got a number of objectives that they're trying to incorporate in this particular contest. But with your contest, make it fun, make it, make sure that you've got great images, that you grab the attention with your contest, have a great prize. The better the prize, the more people are going to enter that particular contest. The greater the prize, the more people are going to tell their friends about that contest, and make it easy again with a contest to enable people to tell other people about the particular contest. With that Miraval, I think that they were going to get accommodations for 4. Think about it. If you're doing a girlfriend's getaway contest, make the prize for 4 people. That way, you're automatically going to have 4 people that are going to enter that contest, because 4 girlfriends will get together and say, okay, let's each submit our own board, and one of us will win, and whoever wins is going to take the other 3. So make it easy for people to be able to spread the word, and get right into the call to action of tell 3 others of your girlfriends so that you've got 4 chances to win type of deal. So there's a whole thing on contests on making them effective. Again, with contests, they're always Pinterest has guidelines in terms of use for contests, things that you are allowed to do and things that you're not allowed to do, how you're not allowed to spam and those types of things. So you need to know Pinterest rules, but you also need to know your state rules, because every single state or every province has different rules related to contests. So you need to see, what do you have to do to be able to run this particular contest? Does it have to be that only people over 18 years of age are eligible? Or, what are the specific rules for your particular state or province in running a contest? Now, if you hold a contest and you ask users to create a board talking about your particular destination, and then they have to send you a link to their board on the contest entry form, this is what I'm going to suggest that you do. But you take that and you make sure that some things are definitely incorporated. That one of the contest terms is that you get to use that picture. That becomes your property, and you're allowed to use it in any of your brochures or any of your marketing collateral. So that's a great way of getting access to a greater number of photos that you can use in your marketing collateral. You then you repin the top board entrance, and so on your site you repin the top board entrance, and you ask followers to select the winner by voting. So now what does that do? If you've got, let's say you've run this contest, and now you've got the top 10 boards that you have narrowed it down to. And then you allow people to vote on which board should be the winner of this particular contest. Do you suppose the owner of that board is not going to do whatever they possibly can through their social media, through their Twitter, through their posts on Facebook, to send people to your Pinterest to vote on their particular board? So what you're getting is these contest entrants to really do a massive media campaign for you on this particular contest, but this particular contest is actually also profiling your destination. So contests can be very, very effective in achieving your objectives. Just to close here, I want to just go through a few of the, there are tons and tons and tons of widgets and tools out there for Pinterest. This one here is Repinly. It helps you find the most popular pins, boards, and pinners on Pinterest. So if you are looking at, communicating with some people that are the top pinners that have a lot of followers, look at this first one, Joy Cho, 14 million followers. So if you can get her to pin something about your destination, look at the number of followers that will see that particular picture. So there are tons of these tools out there like Repinly that will give you access to the things that you need to be able to do what you want to do. Pin alerts, it's like your Google alerts and your social mention. Pin alerts, you set it up in seconds and you receive email notifications whenever someone pins something from your website. So again, it's like Google alerts except it's for Pinterest. Pin reach. What you get to see here is they give you information on the reach of your pins. Who has repinned, how many followers they have, how many people have viewed, those types of things. So you get a lot of great analytics from pin reach. Picora, they've got a ton of, like I say, a complete marketing suite for Pinterest. So analytics, promotion, content management, and social e-commerce. Social e-commerce likely is on the rich pins, where people see a product, the rich pin gives them access to be able to buy that particular product. Another one, PinPuff, calculate your pinfluence and sign up for perks. So again, it measures your popularity on Pinterest. With everything that you do, make sure that, like I said earlier, that you've got a strategy, you've got a plan for what you're going to do, why you're going to do it. Your strategy comes from your objectives, your target markets, your products and services, and with that documented strategy, you want to have for every objective, you want to have a success goal. And once you've got a success goal, you need to know how you're going to be able to measure that particular aspect. And so your analytics, whether you use the analytics that are provided through Pinterest or your Google Analytics, you want to make sure that you know how you're going to measure the things that you're hoping to accomplish. With the measurement analytics, there are certain things that are important and certain that are not, depending upon what your objectives are. Which of your pins is most popular? That's important. That gives you some information on people who are viewing your pins. It might also give you some information on which pins are most accessible. If you've got pins that are more popular than others that should be more popular, then you need to take a little look at your site and say, okay, well, obviously people are not getting to this particular page because this picture is much better for this particular target market, and they would be repinning this one a whole lot more than this other one that is our most popular. So sometimes it gives you good information on traffic flow within your site. Sometimes it tells you a bit more about the interests of your visitors, and the popular pins might give you an indication of maybe suggested itineraries that you want to set up, or more information for that particular target market. You also want to take a look, and really important, which pictures, which pins get people clicking through to your site, because that is one of your major objectives. You want to get people clicking through to your site, so take a look at the pictures that actually cause that to happen. And then what you want to do is figure out, okay, why does this picture get people clicking through to my site? Sometimes, and again, this is kind of a guerrilla marketing tactic, sometimes it's because it's got great content, but it's not big enough for people to be able to get all the information. And so therefore they want to click through to be able to enlarge that picture and get all the details of whatever is incorporated into that picture. So, again, that's a guerrilla marketing tactic. But sometimes it's just great pictures that cause people to click through to your site. And so you want to see, okay, which ones cause, why would that picture cause them, and how can we do more of that stuff? You also want to take a look and see who has repinned your stuff. So which one of your target markets is repinning your stuff, and what can you do to help them? And what can you do to attract them and give them more information and more stuff to get them to come to your destination. You might look at, who specifically has pinned something from your site, as opposed to repinning from your Pinterest. And so this will give you information about the people that are visiting your site, finding great stuff, and deciding that's of value enough to put it on their own Pinterest board. How many people are pinning from your site? If it's only a few, then you probably don't have that pin it button in all the appropriate places, or you probably don't have great pictures with a pin it button. So, you can learn so much from your analytics and from reverse engineering. When I work with companies, it's when I look at the analytics and things, it's what is not there, or what could be there to help enhance people to take the action that you want them to take. So, you really want to look at this measurement to determine, if it's working the way that you want it to work. And what you want to do is you want to set your benchmarks very, very early on. And you don't really care about other people's benchmarks, how much traffic they get from Pinterest. It doesn't really matter. What you want to do is set your benchmarks, and you want to improve on yourself over time. So if you're driving, when you start Pinterest, you're driving 25 people a week to your website, then that is the benchmark that you need to improve on. So then you need to figure out, okay, our objective is to get people to our website, and we're starting off with 25. How can we get 50? How can we get 100? And then measure against yourself to make sure that you're improving over time. So that brings me to the end of my presentation on Pinterest marketing. Hopefully you've gotten a few tips, tools, techniques, resources, a few ideas, enough information to determine, number one, if Pinterest is right for you, and number two, how you might better develop your strategy, what types of things you might want to incorporate,